Hey guys, this week we've got this beautiful big Winnebago in the workshop. As you can see, it's absolutely massive. It's got two huge slide outs on it. It's got ducted aircon all throughout, and it's also got a 24-volt starter battery system as well. Come and take a look. It's only had 2 panels up on the roof to begin with. We've done a big upgrade on the roof and fitted 1600 watts. So that's 8 200-watt solar panels. Just inside at the moment, removing the old solar regulator. It's on a plate just there. We're gonna make up our own acrylic plate with some USB 12-volt sockets just to make use of the hole that's there. So this is the space that I've got to work with under the bed of this Winnebago. Fair bit of room. As you can see, the batteries are pretty big. They're 330 amp hours of lithium. So I've got 2, that's 660. We've left room for another battery if the customer wants one in the future as he's requested. We'll get our CNC machine to cut out some foam board. The batteries will sit snug in there so they don't bounce along the road. Once that's in place, we'll be able to wire everything up. This door here obviously isn't usable anymore, so we'll change that to a big acrylic vent to allow cooling for the system. It's time to get stuck into it. So we've completed the install. Moving down here, we've got the starter batteries. We've mounted a 100 amp DC to DC buck boost charger under the bed. Routed some 25mm cables down through a fuse onto the 24-volt starter, giving it plenty of power while it's on the road. Above that was where the old heavy AGM house batteries were. Removed those, fitted the big batteries under the bed, and added a battery protector and a few poles, meaning we don't have to reroute cables and run them through the van. Moving on down to this other hatch. This is where the original inverter was. It's a lot heavier, a lot bigger. We've removed and replaced it with one of our Victron 3000 watt inverters. Changed the fuse over to the appropriate size and also added a 12-volt socket in there at the customer's request. With this inverter, all the power points in the van are now available to use no matter where you are. You can run the aircon whatever you would like. So as you can see, this is the finished result of the Winnebago power system. It's all under the bed. 2 330 amp hour Victron lithium batteries. We've left room for one big 330 amp hour Victron. If the customer wants to get that in the future, he can. We've cut out a piece of foam board on our CNC machine. That sits our batteries in there neatly, and we've mounted everything on top. So starting over this side, we've got the 100 amp DC to DC charger. That allows 100 amps from the 24-volt starter battery into the big Victron lithium batteries. We've also got our 2 100-50 smart solar charge regulators. They'll be handling the 1800 watts that's on the roof. We've also mounted a little fan down here as well to help ventilate the area, as well as deleting that drop-down cupboard door, and we've put a big piece of Perspex vent in there to allow better cooling for the 12-volt system. We've removed that old solar regulator. Instead of leaving a big hole there with wires hanging out of it, we've had an acrylic plate cut up with some USB points, some 12-volt sockets, just to make it useful for the customer. So up here you can see we've mounted the Serbo GX Touch 50 display. What that lets you do is monitor the battery in the van. You can monitor the battery voltage, the percentage, see your inputs and your outputs, even when it comes to your mains power. We've also mounted a system switch beside it. Basically when that's off, everything in the van's isolated. You won't be drawing any power. Good for when you put the van to storage or something like that. This is definitely one of the biggest and best power systems out there on the road. If you're looking for an upgrade to your motorhome or vehicle, come and see the team down at Solar & Sat Bundaberg. Don't forget to give us a follow on Facebook and Instagram.